Good morning, everybody, and welcome to our webinar focusing on the Highlands and Islands region in Scotland, and particularly around cyber. My name is Jude McCurry. I'm the CEO for SBRC, and what we want to do this morning is continue on the conversations that we've been having in person, previously to COVID, around High. We had various events all around the country. So what we want to do is make sure that we're continuing those conversations and keeping everybody updated virtually. So missing this morning from the webinar is Teresa Swain. So she wants to pass on her regards to everybody as well from High, and to make sure that we listen to feedback, and for any further sessions and stuff that you can let us know what we should be covering, and hopefully you find this all very useful. I'd also like to thank the panelists that we have today for giving up their time to be here. We have Lynn from the Outer Hebrides Chamber of Commerce. We have Colm Scott, one of our ethical hackers at SBRC. We've got Kirstie Steele from Scottish Government, and we also have Gordon MacDonald from Police Scotland. So I would like to hand over to Lynn, first of all, to take forward this webinar. Thank you.
Thank you, Jude. I'll just bring up some slides if I can. Thank you. So welcome everybody, and thank you to the SBRC for the opportunity to speak to everybody this morning. The Chamber, the Outer Hebrides Chamber of Commerce, is part of a network of Highlands and Islands based chambers, and hopefully you'll see the logo of one that is close to you or nearby within your region. Of course, we've got Inverness, the Murray Chamber, Loch Arbour, ourselves in the Outer Hebrides, Caithness, and the Cairngorms works with a business partnership. We are all of the chamber organisations that you see there are part of the Scottish Chamber of Commerce network, and as a group we can work with some of the representation, we can lobby for some of your issues, and we can highlight some of the key issues, which we've been very busy doing over the last 8 weeks, as I'm sure you can all well imagine. So a very, very quick contextual slide around what it is that a chamber member gets. So I'm speaking here, of course, on behalf of my own chamber in the Outer Hebrides. So if you speak to your local chamber group, you may find that they have a slightly different set of benefits for you as businesses, but certainly they'll be based around these 5 themes. Networking is really key, getting businesses to speak to each other. Our business breakfasts and business lunches are on hold, as you can well imagine, but we're working in other ways to try and still make sure that businesses are connecting and are finding ways to adapt. Representation is taking your issues and lobbying and making sure that we can, as a community, we can raise the things that are really important. We also provide through the network some business support, and this is a really cool tool, free business support. And then, of course, some exporting when you're ready to do that, and we look to promote businesses. So that's a very, very short, sharp background to what a chamber does, in case you haven't come across that before. But in terms of why the chamber is interested in getting involved in the SBRC work that goes on and cyber resilience, I think at the moment we really have to focus just now on making sure that we're ready we're either planning or we are adapting our businesses for the current environment. And I think the last 8 weeks have just provided unprecedented motivation to get some businesses online and get them thinking about how they take part of their operations to use technology in ways that they may not have thought of before. So of course we've got many more webinars, we've got video conferencing, we've got people talking about getting all of their documents into the cloud where they might not have before, to facilitate working from home and trading online. So all of these things are bringing lots of questions to the chamber. So we're really, really keen that businesses do come and hear about the cyber resilience challenges. and stay safe and continue to do all the things that you would do within your normal business operations, understand the risks, do the planning and adapt in a safe way. And of course, we keep hearing about this new normal there in quotation marks. I think it's going to become a phrase in and of itself. You know, we don't know what this new normal is going to look like yet. It is really still evolving, and for some businesses there will be a lot more changes than others. But I suspect no matter what we come out at the end of this period, there will be more reliance on online. So it's the issues that will be covered today and the information that you will be able to pick up as businesses is going to become even more important. So from a business perspective, obviously we've got trading securely online. As businesses, we need to protect ourselves against the potential for financial losses. Also, there's something around building our confidence to be able to assess and build and manage what we do in an online space at a scale that's right for your business. Now, an email solution, for example, for a 2 or 3 person business is going to be very different from a business that has 50, upwards of 50 staff. So what you do to manage the risks associated with phishing, those sorts of activities might be quite different depending on the scale of business that you're at. Knowing what to do if you have an incident or if there is a crisis that you need to respond to, where do you go? And please do use your chamber. At the moment, most chambers, I think probably I can speak for all of them, they're open their doors to everybody who's a member or not a member. So, you know, do use your local networks if you do have any problems. And of course, you've got people that are speaking today. Understanding those risks and managing them. But most importantly, I think, whilst there is a lot that we need to learn about staying safe online, there are an enormous number of opportunities. So harnessing those opportunities and being available to being open to them and making them part of your business. So this is where we are. There's the lovely network across the north of Scotland. Like I said, thank you very much for the opportunity just to say hello and put some context around the business connection to the really important work that the SBRC does. So thank you, that's it from me, and I'll hand over to the experts.
Thanks, Lynn. Now I'm going to hand over to Colin Scott.
Hi there, just let me get myself sorted. There we go. So my name is Colin Scott, and I'm an ethical hacker for SBRC. So today's kind of slideshow that we're just going to look at is the kind of phishing related scams that is unfortunately happening during the coronavirus pandemic. We can see in the month of March, there was a 400% increase in coronavirus related fraud reports. It's the unfortunate case that people will just use any negative scenario to build upon their phishing attempts, and in this case it is coronavirus. So what are some examples relating to our COVID-19 phishing scams? Well, first one that we have on today is, it's a usual email related one. So our government has emailed us supposedly with a COVID-19 relief fund in relation to our tax rebate, and we all know by now that the government would never email you such an email saying that you have to follow a link for your tax rebate. This is an attempt just to try and get your details, scam you of any money. If you're ever unsure about this email that you received, you can always contact HMRC, and they will confirm or deny if the email is true or fake. Next one we have is, there's been certain emails going around where people have been trying to impersonate the World Health Organization, and they are sending you emails that are giving you files to download that contain certain safety measures. These files, more often than not, don't contain the safety measures, and these emails are also not from the World Health Organization. The World Health Organization actually has a scam section on their website, which goes into detail that they'll never like phone you for details, they'll never email you, they'll never ask you to sign up or download things. And you can find that at who.int. Unfortunately, we have more coronavirus-related scams, and these come in the terms of fake testing kits, fake products, and fake charities. Now, with the fake testing kits, we can see that is a situation where they're trying to attempt you to win free COVID testing kits, and they want you to sign up with your details, like your email address, your house address, or your phone number, and they're essentially going to use that to try and scam you of certain things. That if that can lead to, such as your bank account, they'll use those details before, and they'll use that to scam you. Again, another one is the fake products. These fake products are relating to things like people are getting phone calls from their home regarding food parcels being sent to them. I know the elderly are also getting phone calls relating to health and safety checks that are costing them around £250. Now, the government isn't offering that, so any related phone call such as that is most certainly a scam. False PPE equipment as well is also a fake product that is trying to be sold, so we have to be vigilant on those. And the third one is fake charities. Now, there has been certain charities being set up that are supposedly for coronavirus relief, but are actually just a scam. Now, if you ever come across a charity in the UK that you are uncertain about, you can look up the OSCR in Scotland, or the Government UK's website for England and Wales, or the Charity Commission northernIreland.org.uk to test if those charities are legitimate or not. So with the current climate, naturally we are having to do everything over Zoom as we are right now. The fact that we are having to do it over Zoom, that has now become like a breeding ground for hackers. They are attacking, focusing their efforts on this area. So March 30th, there was around 1,700 new Zoom domains registered. These Zoom domains are of course fake, and they're getting users to download dangerous exe files that install malware on the computer. And as just a nugget of information, the real Zoom website is zoom.us, no other domain. So another one that we have been seeing is the COVID-19 text scam, and this was made popular through social media as the screenshots are going around. Now, people are supposedly getting texts saying that they have been out of their house for 3 times per day, they're in breach of government guidelines, and their £30 will be added to the bill. This text is fake. The government won't be adding any money to your phone bill, and if they ever provide a link, you should not follow it. The £30 fine can only be handed out by on the spot fine by police, so they'll never be dished out over any text. Another one that came to light yesterday was someone who came in contact with tested positive for COVID-19. This text is also fake. There is currently no service like this. The scammers are building on the fact that there is this new NHS app in testing, and because of that, this text becomes more believable, but it should be known that this text is fake. It's not any legitimate service. So some old malware that we're seeing coming back is a Trojan virus called Zeus Thinks. It is old, but it still works. And that comes in the form of where people are downloading Word documents relating to coronavirus, such as the health concerns from the World Health Organization. These Word documents contain macros, which will run a script. As soon as you download them, they'll run a script and it will cause harm to the computer. To prevent this, if you ever find yourself in a situation where you have downloaded a Word document like this, you can not enable the content, and that will prevent anything from running on your computer maliciously. So Android apps, on the Android App Store, there has been a lot of COVID-19 tracker apps appeared. Some are acting as spyware, some are acting as adware, and essentially pretty much all of these are just there for malicious intent. I believe the only legitimate ones so far are the NHS one and potentially if the Google and Apple relationship their app has published. Those are only two legitimate ones that I'm aware of, but all the rest are potentially a scam or dangerous. And if you want to verify them, you can easily just Google their name and see what other people are saying about them. With the router hijacking, that's became a thing recently with D-Link and Linksys routers. Hackers have managed to brute force their way into the admin panel of many devices as in routers. And they've been able to change the DNS servers on the routers to their own. So that means that when the users of this router are searching specific websites, they're getting redirected to a custom website and are often prompted to download like a Corona info related app or a tracking app again onto their PC or device, which, as we know, is just malicious. So some tips and tricks and best practices. Updates. Now, we talk about updates all the time. We push updates at every and any moment. Updates are more often than not free. We extremely recommend them because they are a low effort, plus they're a high rewards. They keep you safe, they keep you prevented against old attacks and potentially keep you protected against future attacks. We also like to say that Windows 7 is officially unsupported. It hasn't been supported for quite some time now. And we do recommend, if possible, to update your Windows. So passwords and passphrases. Passphrases have now become a lot more popular in today's cyber world, as they are just a collection of words that are easier to remember for the human, but are harder to guess in the long run. We do say that length is better than complexity, although we would recommend you don't use your average day words for your passphrases. We also recommend that you don't reuse your passphrases, and if you so wish, you should use a password manager because they are designed to be very secure and remembers passwords so you don't have to. Backups, they're always good in retrospect. It's better to be safe than sorry, as you can recover a lot easier from a cyber attack if you have your backups in place. And it's important to know, do you have a backup policy? What is your backup policy? And should you be creating a new backup policy? So phishing, how do we identify a phishing website? Well, we look at the URL. With the URL, we can see that HTTPS, good sign, it's secure, but that doesn't always equal safe. So how do we identify a safe link? Well, to understand a link, we have to break it down into three counterparts. So when you look at the UK, you see the UK as an island. That's the main place. If you want to be more specific, we can go Scotland. And if you want to be even more specific, we can say Edinburgh. So if we look at this email address, if we look at this URL, we read it from right to left. So if we have our Edinburgh, Scotland, UK again, we can see that .com is the UK in this example. Google is Scotland in this example, and my account is Edinburgh. So this man, he's called John Podesta, and a quote from him was, Hillary Clinton's campaign got hacked by falling for the oldest trick in the book. He was Hillary Clinton's campaign manager, and he unfortunately fell for a phishing scam where his Gmail account got hacked and many of Hillary Clinton's emails got leaked. So he got sent this link, he opened it, and it just, to every normal person, it looks like your average Gmail login. But if we look closer at the link, we can see that, well, where our .com would be, it now says TK. So that's immediately suspicious. We can see that where Google would have been, it's now com-security sentence page. And now we can see where Edinburgh would have been, it now says Google. So now we can see that that's not the right specification that we had previously just learned. So thank you for listening. I understand that was quick, but I was trying to get our way through all the slides in time. But thank you.
Gordon's having some technical difficulties. Kirstie, do you want to go with your bit first and then we can come back to Gordon?
Sure. Yeah, give me a second and I'll set up my presentation and I'll share my screen.
We'll come back to you, Gordon, then.
Oh, I've got it now. Sorry.
Oh, you got it?
Yeah.
Okay.
Sorry.
So close. I'll let you go. On you go, Gordon.
Thank you. Good morning, everybody. Sorry for that technical difficulty there. Can I just say thank you all for joining us this morning, and can I just say from the panel that we hope you and your families are all keeping safe and well with the situation that we are going through just now. And can I just also say a thank you to Teresa Swain, Highlands and Islands Enterprise, and also to the SBRC for hosting this event today and for allowing us to have you as an audience. We're running to a wee bit of a tight timescale, but I want to give you a summarised overview of cyber capability structure within Police Scotland, the core function of which involves the investigation, the forensics and prevention aspects when dealing with cybercrime. I'm going to touch on 5 key questions that all companies should be asking themselves, and finally what organisations or small businesses can do to better protect themselves within the online environment. So we'll see. Hopefully my tech will work. So here goes. So cybercrime, as we heard there from Com, a really interesting presentation from him. Sometimes there will be a wee bit of an overlap in terms of cybersecurity and prevention. So I apologise for that just now, but it is very useful that we do overlap because it sends a message and it gets a message home. So cybercrime features very highly within the policing priorities of Police Scotland. And in terms of my role, we are very much guided by the Scottish Government Cyber Resilience Strategy, and particularly its overarching aims to help the public, private and third sectors, as well as businesses ranging from small, medium enterprises, one-person enterprises, and we also deal with the financial industry or sector, together with international oil and gas companies and the energy industry. So we variously support these different sectors and organisations with up-to-date information on trending crimes, cyber crimes, with a view to improving their cyber resilience. But not only that, also their ability to use technology securely and also to respond and recover from a cyber event. So within Police Scotland, we have 3 national units, and they are located in various geographical areas around the country. So we've got them in the north, where I'm based in Aberdeen just now. And just out of interest, the north area, we serve, if you like, anywhere from Dundee north to the Orkney Islands, Shetland Islands, across the Western Isles. And we have variously worked in these areas. And we've also got a team in the east, down in Edinburgh, and a team in the west. And within these domains are included cybercrime investigations teams, cyber forensics units, and ourselves, we come under cybercrime prevention. In addition to the cybercrime prevention, I work along a newly introduced unit known as the Cybercrime Policy and Coordination Unit. Now, this is a team based in Aberdeen with national concerns as well for the force. And our connection with this unit is to be both reactive and proactive. And what I mean by that is that this unit will receive local and national intelligence in relation to cybercrime. They will in turn allocate sanitized tasking to ourselves, and we will go out to the named individual or business in that tasking. And basically, we will turn up at their door and we will say who we are, why we're there. And for some of them, it's the first time they realize that their network has been compromised. Some of them, it can be a real shock. And when we do look at the first line of their cyber security defense in terms of the particular intelligence we have on how their network has been compromised, we usually find out that it relates to an admin password. And as Com touched on earlier on, passwords and passphrases can be the first line of defense in terms of protecting your network. So we strongly emphasize the importance of passwords and passphrases, as Cole mentioned there. And in addition to dealing with or working with these companies, we engender a trust with them. We build up a confidence with them. We are there to protect them, just as every member of the panel is here just now. We're here to look after your interests and protect your interests online. And any information that they have from their online experiences, we will take that and we will submit it into the larger intelligence pot, if you like. And that allows Police Scotland and the other forces in the UK to build and understand the cyber threat landscape within the country in relation to any particular sector, how it relates to that, and the current trends or threats that are affecting that particular sector. One of the things that we do is that when we are engaging with companies, within my remit, I will speak with schools, I will speak with charities. It really is very important for me to get this message out to as many people as I possibly can. But in relation to yourselves, what I would say is when you're looking at your online security and how you operate in the online or virtual world, you should start by asking yourselves a question that, am I going to be hacked? Yeah, you probably might be, and you should look at your network as expecting to be hacked. And if you use this mindset when you're going through your cybersecurity, it's a really good health check to have. Don't think that if you're running a small one-person self-employed business or an SME, that you're not important enough to be hacked online. One of the things that we see is that anyone who connects to the internet, to the virtual world, is just as likely to be the victim of some kind of cybercrime as any of the big multinational businesses. So by being prepared at the early stages of setting up your online business, or if you are just in the process of reviewing your cyber threat resilience, having the early planning considerations and awareness are key. So what can you do just now? How can you better protect yourselves from cybercrime? Well, if you ask yourselves or your business as individuals, how do you defend your organization against a phishing attack, for example? Do you run staff awareness sessions on the most common attacks? Do you continually update your staff, and do you encourage staff to contribute their own ideas about phishing, what their awareness is? And as Cole mentioned earlier on, being aware of how a URL is structured. We are long since moved away from looking at emails that have poor grammar, poor spelling. We are now looking at the technical aspect, whereby URLs are being affected. How does your organization control the use of privileged IT accounts? You have to ask yourself, do all your staff have general access to IT privileges? If so, is there a requirement for that? Do you just have one person who has actual IT privilege to the whole network? What are the passwords you use to your IT? Is it admin123 or is it password 1? As Cole mentioned earlier on, cyber criminals know exactly how we structure our passwords. They know the common passwords we use. So you have to make them very, very difficult. Length and complexity are the key. And not only in relation to length and complexity, but using passwords that are not linked in any way to your business or any social media interests or anything you post online. And also recycling passwords. Please don't do that. Change them and change them properly. Also, in relation to your IT, don't just allow privileged access for the sake of it. Make sure those who have access to your IT accounts need it and need it for that reason if there are any changes. And also, how do you make your partners and suppliers protect the information you share with them? Probably the main soft underbelly to business security as well as your supply chain. How secure is your supply chain IT policy? Could your data or your intellectual property be leaked or lost by some member of your supply chain? And one of the things that we direct businesses to is Cyber Essentials and Cyber Essentials Plus, and the SBRC can really take you through that journey, if you like, to be aware of how to set up and get involved in Cyber Essentials and Cyber Essentials Plus. And we're almost at the stage now where if your company is badged with Cyber Essentials, Cyber Essentials Plus, and you are, bidding for work, if you have that badge, it's looked at as being a badge of confidence in terms of how you operate online in relation to your cyber hygiene. And what system or what authentication methods are used to control systems to data? Do you encourage your staff to use two-factor or multi-factor authentication? I know sometimes that using 2FA or MFA can be a bit of a hassle. But again, it's just introducing additional layers of security to protect access to your network. What can organizations do then? Well, one of the things we have to remember is that the difference between traditional crimes and cyber crimes is that cyber crimes, there is no geographical boundary. You could be sitting in your office just now in Lochaber, Barra, Inverness, Caithness, it doesn't matter where it is, and still be a potential target by a cyber criminal. You could be sitting anywhere in the UK, or for that matter, anywhere globally. So as I mentioned earlier, we should be looking at our cyber security as though we are about to be hacked, and what measures we can put in place to mitigate or lessen the effect of a cyber attack. So again, when we do go out to businesses and organizations, we will address them and speak to them more in a slow time approach. So one of the things that we highlight on this slide is monitor your users. With us all working from home now, or the majority of us, we have to shoulder the responsibility that when we are remote working, we still have accountability in terms of, exposure on the internet of whatever we're doing in terms of our business. So when you monitor users, have a clear policy regarding internet, email, social media use. And we would ask that you ensure staff are aware and understand if there are penalties in place, what these are if they abuse your remote networking policy, or for that matter, when they are working within the confines of your office space. And accessibility as well. Filter staff access to websites, particularly social media. And one of the main points that we speak about as well is that possibly an insider threat. Now, this might not be directly within your organization. It could be the point, and we've seen it before in testing, where USB drives are left in a car park or left in a staff room, and they are plugged into a portal on one of the network computers. What is that introducing if it's put there by somebody who's wanting to do your business harm? Because there is that aspect of curiosity, what is on that USB. So we've got to be particularly aware of that as well. And risk assess who has access to those assets, your IT assets, how are they managed and looked after, especially out with the office environment. As Cole mentioned earlier on, and I'll touch on in a few seconds about patching and updates. The IT equipment that we are using when we're remote working, it is the staff member's responsibility to be looking after that, and we have to enforce that as well. And identifying what needs protecting. Can you just now as a business, can you identify where all your IT related assets are? Which ones are the most critical to the success and the advantage to your company? Where are they? Can you tie them down if something happened? And as I touched on there a wee minute ago about patching and updates, it's definitely advisable to keep your software, apps, and antivirus up to date, and keep a record of when this is done. In relation to these updates, we would recommend that you do these out with office hours so that there is no impact on your business. And again, you can check when it is done. Security plans make detection and response capabilities a core part of your security plan. Have a plan in place just so that if you are the victim of an attack, you do have backups in place that you can get your business up and running again quite quickly, because that is of paramount importance to you. Your business reputation is one of the big and key factors that keeps you out there and ahead of the competition. So if you are victim of an attack, you do have that backup, and it can get you back up and running very, very quickly. And also education. Educate your staff about the threat, talk to them about cybersecurity, encourage the reporting by staff if they do see a suspicious email coming in, ask them to let you know. Don't expect them to react and for something to happen and them to be lambasted for perhaps not taking the time and pausing to consider the email that's been sent in. And in addition to that, we would ask you that, if you do come across anything suspicious in terms of emails, you tell us. And as I touched on earlier on, if you tell us, it allows us to shape the threat landscape within Scotland, but also the UK, and the types of attacks that are affecting businesses. So I'm just going to finish with this slide. These are links to some great resources to improve your awareness and also your cybersecurity. Now, as Co mentioned, as I said before, about passwords and passphrases, there's a nice link here to how secure is my password. And what you can do is, what we say is, put in a password into this site that is not exactly the password you use, but very similar to it. And how secure is my password will tell you within seconds how quickly a computer can break your password. So what we emphasize is use 3 random words. So where you're sitting just now, have a look around at 3 random things. So it could be hat, it could be cup, it could be pen. Completely removed, these words are completely removed from anything in terms of social media that you do or anything in relation to your business. Put them in, add a special character, and check on how secure is my password, how long that'll take to crack. And that'll give you an idea in terms of the length complexity of the password that you should be looking at introducing to prevent that account from being hacked. Because we all know that cyber criminals, they'll use dictionary attacks, password spraying, brute force attacks, all these things. And these attacks are based on common passwords that we use. So let's from today look at the structure of our passwords and passphrases and introduce these as a new method of first line protection against our accounts being hacked. You can also go into Have I Been Pwned as well. That's a really useful website, and it'll let you know if any of your accounts have been attacked or pawned online. So just by finishing up, can I just mention that Police Scotland have a cadre of contacts who would regularly send out cyber messaging and alerts to. And if you're interested in receiving these alerts, we can update your details on that list. So if you could let us know that, that would be grateful. So that's all from me. I hope you found that of benefit. So I'll pass you across now to Jude.
Oh, sorry, I was on mute. Thank you very much. We've been discussing all this in SBRC as well, and we think it's really important that organisations now and businesses carry out their duty of care as well towards employees, that everybody was sent home rather fast over the last few weeks and stuff. And I think now that when people have got some breathing space, they need to start really looking into their cyber strategy going forward, because it's not COVID, and we need to take that level of managing the cyber stuff at home as well, that employees need to make sure that they are protecting their staff against this. And also from a staff perspective as well, that they see anything that they have to report straight away to the line manager or somebody in the organization, not just ignore it from home, because what can happen if we ignore it. And also then for organisations as well to make sure that they report all incidents to Police Scotland on 101 as well, because cyber, as we're trying to get the message across, cyber is crime. This is crime as well. It's the same as being physically assaulted on the street and stuff as well, and sometimes with bigger detrimental effects to organisations and to government as well. So the good thing about this webinar as well, it shows the strength of collaboration between SBRC, between Scottish Government and the police as well. And every week we bring out, we basically all put in some information into Scottish Government, and then Kirstie is the person responsible for putting this all together. And yeah, hopefully you all get a copy of it, and it gives you all the latest COVID information around scams or things to look out for, and also you should be sending it to your staff as well. Particularly the thing that was quite frightening this morning was around that app message. So as soon as anything is released, this to try and manipulate the general public. So over to Kirstie. Thank you very much.
Thanks, Jude. So thanks for inviting me on this webinar this morning. My name is Kirstie. I work in the Cyber Resilience Unit in the Scottish Government, and we're committed to helping Scotland and organisations improve their cyber resilience. That means that we help them use technology securely and how to respond to and prevent cybercrime. So in 2015, we launched a strategy, Safe, Secure and Prosperous, and that aims to make Scotland a safe place to live and learn and set up business and invest in. And that strategy sits within the SG's wider digital and economic strategy, and also is closely aligned to the UK government's national cyber strategy. So we have a framework for improving the resilience through our 5 action plans, and those go across all sectors. Cyber resilience is often seen as like the domain of the IT department, but the truth is that it needs to be on everyone's agenda. Just as people across all parts of your organisation and across all the sectors will have to be conscious of their safety and security in the physical world, and they must also look after themselves in the digital world. And for this reason, cyber risk has to be seen and considered and managed just like any other business risk would be, and not left exclusively to the IT department. So the Scottish Government and the National Cyber Security Centre, or NCSC for short, have created a number of tools and resources to help try and address some of your cyber challenges that are faced by organisations. And in this little presentation here, I'm going to run through some of the guidance that's just been produced recently from the National Cyber Security Centre, and that is going to help support your organisation over the next number of months. So working from home, you know, we've been doing a lot of that recently. It's not new to many of us, but since the coronavirus, organisations are using home working on a greater scale and for longer periods. So you may have more people working from home than usual, and some of those people might not have ever done it before. So NCSC is the UK's authority on all things cyber security. They are part of GCHQ, and they have a range of guidance available on their website to help support you and your organisation. So they've got one that they've just released on preparing your staff for home working, from setting up new accounts to helping staff look after the devices that they're using at home. And the guide will help your organisation introduce home working, or indeed now scaling up home working. And it also provides advice on spotting some of the COVID scam emails, which we've discussed earlier. And the NCSC are they're great at having some sort of visual aspects to their guidance as well. And for each of their guidance, they have produced lovely PDF infographics that kind of sum up that material which is in the guide. This is really digestible, it's easy to read, it's PDF, so you can print it off and hang it up on your wall. So we've all had to adapt, and we're all now using technology in an effort to keep in touch with employees who are working from home. So the need for effective communications channels is vital. And there are many options for video conferencing available, but you'll have to ensure that when you're using video calls themselves and any other data, such as the messages, the shared files, the video transcripts, the recordings, are all protected. And again, the NCSC have got some brilliant guidance on this, and we would suggest that you put your thoughts in line with this to help you use the conferencing software and platform securely. So this guidance will help you choose, it'll help you configure, and it'll help you deploy video conferencing services across your organisation, such as Zoom or Skype or whichever one else is available to you. There's tips on this for helping your staff use the video conferencing securely as well. So those that are attending the meetings and for those that are actually running the sessions as well. They actually have separate guidance as well for individuals and families that are using it for their own personal use. So again, I would suggest that maybe you share that with any of your friends and family that are using these video conferencing just to catch up. And again, you can see here from their nice PDF infographics, really easy to sort of understand what are the risks involved with using video conferencing. So it's no surprise, as we've heard, that the cyber criminals are preying on the fears of the coronavirus and sending lots of phishing emails that try and trick you into clicking on bad links. Once it's clicked, the user is sent usually to a dodgy website, which could download malware onto your computer, or it might try and steal your passwords. And all these scams claim to have various things from cures to the virus or a financial reward or encouraging you to donate. Like many of the phishing scams, they're all just trying to trick you into doing the wrong thing. But NCSE do have guidance on helping you deal with suspicious messages, what you should be looking out for. And they also have guidance, I believe, on what you do if you have actually accidentally clicked on it as well. So it's worth checking on their website for that too. And you'll have got some great advice earlier in the presentations on what to kind of look out for these phishing attempts from Colin earlier. But what happens if you've got a phishing email and you're not quite sure about it, you think it's suspicious? Normally we would just be deleting it, but now there's a new tool that's been launched by the NCSE called the Suspicious Email Reporting Tool. And this builds on the NCSE's existing takedown service that they run. So these emails might come from a company that you don't normally receive communications from, or someone that you don't know, or you might just have a hunch, or you just know that this is a dodgy spam email here. You should report it. By reporting it to this new service, you're going to be helping protect many other people from being affected by this. So all you do is you forward the email to the report@phishing.gov.uk, and the NCSE's automated programme will immediately test the validity of the site. And if any of the sites have been seen to be of a phishing one or a fake one, these will automatically be removed immediately. I'm going to actually give you a little demo of how easy it is to do this. Here's one I had earlier in my junk mailbox. So this is actually a fake email that I got from Netflix, or it's not Netflix. As you can see, there's lots of signs there that kind of show you, want me to click on things to update my payment. It will end at a certain time if I don't act now. Dodgy email addresses that it's been sent to. So I know that this one was suspicious. So this is a quick video on how you would report it using the new tool. Oh, or I'll go back again, try it again. So you take the email, you hit the forward button, you type in the email address, report@phishing.gov.uk, and then you send it. And that's it. You'll get an automatic response from NCSE to say that they've received your email. So this is the one that I got sent back to say thank you for sending that on, and it will point you to lots of other good guidance that they have available. And since the launch of this tool, the public have flagged more than 160,000 fake suspicious emails, and this has led to the removal of more than over 300 websites, and I'm sure this will only increase as the more people that use this service. So I would highly suggest that you start sending it off to NCSE. If you do accidentally click on something and you have lost some funds out of this, and you do become a victim of a coronavirus related fraud or any other type of cybercrime, then the advice is to go directly to Police Scotland and call 101. So we don't report to Action Fraud here in Scotland, it's to Police Scotland on 101. And as Jude was saying earlier, the Scottish Government Cyber Resilience team are sharing important cybersecurity information from trusted resources. So that includes the NCSE, Police Scotland, we've got SBRC taking involved, we've got Trade and Standards. And each week we are sharing a weekly bulletin about the increase and the nature of the rise of COVID-related scams, and we're pointing you to trusted advice and guidance. And the advice is how to prevent and mitigate the impact of the scams and associated threats. So we are sharing this to we're emailing it out to our stakeholders and networks. But you can also now view these onto our Cyber Resilience blog page, which is the link that you'll see on your screen there. It's blogs.gov.scot/cyber-resilience. And you'll see on that link, it's the first post. I'll actually send the direct link in a second in the chat so that you've got it. And I would suggest that you bookmark this page, because each week we will be putting the latest one up there. And again, I would encourage you to share that with others. Now, advice and guidance and information is changing daily as we navigate through this pandemic. So ensure that you get information from your trusted resources. You would want to look to authoritative places such as Police Scotland and also the NCSE's website as well. You can take a screenshot of the screen for those addresses. The NCSE page has a range of different guidance on phishing, malware, using your own devices. There's tons of great stuff there, so I'd suggest you take a look and see which one is that you're needing a bit of advice on. And I would highly suggest that you report any suspicious activity that you are receiving to your IT provider, or indeed Police Scotland if you become a victim of cybercrime. But my advice is just to be vigilant, and don't open unexpected and suspicious meeting invitations, or think twice about before you donate to that charity. But yes, I hope those further guidance and sources will help support your organisation over the next foreseeable future, I would say. But thanks very much, and I'll hand back to Jude.
Kirstie, how do people get the email that's sent out? So can they log on to somewhere? I know that we issue it on the SBRC website, and Scottish Government send it out as well. Is there anywhere?
They can. What we're doing is we're hitting the sort of head stakeholders to sort of share it out further. So as we're trying not to gather too many email addresses to be on our list. Yeah. But so the easiest thing to do is the link that I've just put in the chat. If you go there, bookmark it, it'll be up there every Thursday. I think that will be the easiest rather than subscribing. But obviously it's on SBRC's website as well. Yeah. So those are
definitely. Yeah, and it'll be on our Twitter and your Twitter and stuff like that as well. Yes, so yeah, thank you very much for all your time and effort and pulling everything together, Kirstie, on a weekly basis on this, and for all of the team as well that do this, because it's important that we keep this information flowing around COVID, because we're not at events, we're not at meetings and stuff like that as well, and we're all doing our best to work from home with everything else going on. Yeah. We don't have any questions from the audience, so we are 2 minutes before the end. Have anybody got any last minute things that they want to talk about, or from the panel? No, you covered everything. Okay.
Okay.
All right. Well, thank you very much. And any feedback from the participants in the audience, let us know. And if there's anything you'd like to see from SBRC going forward, we do have weekly webinars on all different aspects of business resilience, including cyber. So log on again to the SBRC Twitter page and the events page on our website. And yeah, you can follow what we're doing on a weekly basis, and hopefully that will be of use to you and basically share around your communities as well. John Cairns has just put in a question: can we get presentations? All the presentations will be sent to participants after this event, and also then the recording will be posted up on our YouTube channel later on as well, so you can share that with colleagues as well. And thank you very much to everybody, and have a nice rest of the day. Thank you.
Thank you.
Bye now.
Thanks. Bye.
Bye.
Thank you.